Welcome everyone. Today I have a special Path of Exile 2 Summoners gearing guide. Looking behind me, I have prepared quite a bit of gears as a demonstration and also example to show you guys. We also have a lot of questions about how I gear my items, what is the item priority, and also how should you go budgeting your build. Because in the previous video, I showed my build had some really good gears and also items, and this is the first part of the many part video to teach you how to make currency and also how to build a summoner. But in order to build the summoner and also make things work, I think it's actually quite important to understand what scales for the summoners and what are the important stats for certain summon units, what are the general stats for certain summon units, and what can you prioritize on getting skill ranks, getting higher spirit, and what are the things that is currently in the game that you might not be aware of or you might not know in the end game how to expand your summons and also your gearing for the mid, early, or even late game. So I have taken quite a bit of time since the last video to write this, I would call more comprehensive guide to give you guys a more overall summary and the first part of what scales for the summon units and then how do you approach in picking things. On top of that, I have made previous guides and also Excels to give you guys a better understanding. Basically, you can see this is my total spirit. I am looking into gears that will give me 60 more spirit. Is this investment worth it, or is it investment in getting one skill level on my gears worth it? You can see going from 500 to 560, I would gain 13% more damage if I'm using snipers. I'll only gain 6.7% more damage if I'm using storm mages because of the spirit cost limit break or the break point, because I can summon more snipers, I can summon less mages for the 60 additional spirit. It doesn't hit 2 additional, it just gives us 1 additional. This is the example. And in terms of examples, getting 1 level 2 skill ranks give us about 13 or 17% bonus damage. And you can see that in the lower spirit levels, it is always preferable to get higher spirit. But once I have even lower spirit, it is massively beneficial to get more spirit. But in the later game, once I have, let's say, 500 or 600 more spirit, getting 50 more spirit doesn't really do that much for me. So this is when something like this dynamically can help you guys scientifically understand how to build your minion build in the ultra late game. And this is a referral data that give you better guidance. I have also made videos to show you guys, or even here Excels to show you guys what are the things that we said in the past will give you higher minion skill ranks and also higher levels. And there's a lot of guide videos I made in the past, but I want to combine this one for a mega summoners guide. So now that we had a little introduction, please bear with me and make sure you use the timestamps below, because there are parts you'll be like, hey Matt, it's not really needed for me to learn this part. There'll be maybe parts you're like, oh, this is actually really good. So make sure you use the timestamps and see which part will help you. And hopefully after this video, you'll have more knowledge on the summoners and how to gear your summoners. And for those of you, excuse me. Now for those of you that want a summary or too long didn't rate version, I have written down what I do exactly at the start of the league and what I plan to do each time I play summoners. I always play summoners since the start of Path of Exile 2, even for Path of Exile 1 as well. So what I do at level 1 to 15, what I'm looking for, what are the gear priorities, what I'm doing from level 15 to level 72, what I'm looking for, and what I start to look for around level 65 or maybe level 60, and those gears can be great in giving me advantage in the much later stage of the game. So this should help you for those of you that want a quick summary as well, and this will be the third part of the video. Now let's come over to the first part of the video. So what I want to do is, I have had a lot of questions about this part. So firstly, let's know the major stat that help us to scale with minions and also summon units. Now, I would like to say, guys, before I start anything, I'm not a Path of Exile 1 expert, and I'm still quite new in Path of Exile 2, even though I played about 900 hours on this account. I do only have one account, just on this particular thing. So 900 hours in, I'm still quite new, so bear with me if I make any mistakes. So what I believe for the summoners and also for the minions, the major stats that help us to scale is going to be minion plus skill ranks, increasing of spirit so you get more minion summons, reduction to spirit reservation. So reduction to spirit reservation are points like those, items like those boots, like with reductions to reservation, and even socketed gems. But the question is, how do you know those major contributors to getting stronger minions? There's also stats like allies in the presence gain buffs, damage, attack speed. Minion modifiers like attack damage, attack flat damage, attack speed, etc. But our main focus will be those 3 major groups. And here is how we want to look at this. So, plus minion skill ranks is very important. It scales massively, and if you look at my current build, from the previous video, if I change back to the weapon swap, my skeletons are level 40, and this is the highest level you can get in the game, I believe. If you go to level 41, it wouldn't do anything anymore. So level 40 is the highest scaling factor we can get, and this can make your minions much, much stronger with tons of summons. Now, coming back. What does this mean for us? So, there's standard ways of getting plus minion skill ranks. The basic one is using a scepter. We like to go with Rattling Scepter because additional skeleton warriors can be sacrificed or used for other purpose, like the Mustard that give us 7% more damage per different minions. So that's why we always go with the Rattling Scepter whenever you can afford it. But if you can't afford it, you can go with a cheaper scepter as well. It's not a big deal. Like the other base that doesn't give you free skeleton warriors. The amulet can give us +3 ranks to minion skills, and this is actually a very nice thing. It can also give us spirit and also other goodies. Now, on the topic of the amulet, if you look for an amulet with an implicit base with solar amulet, it will also give you bonus 15 to spirit up to 15. So this is a solar amulet. You can see on top there's a 15 or 10 to 15 spirit, and that is also very good for better summons. Finally, for the helmet, you can get up to +2 minion skill rank, and then the helmet can be corrupted, and this will become an enchantment with a Val corruption for up to 25 spirit, I believe, or 1+ minion skill rank. Now let's have a look. This particular helmet has +2 to skill ranks. This has +1 enchanted. Now, if you're wondering, hey Matt, how do you search for this? I have made the trait filters for you guys so you can see the items I talk about. So here's the trait filter. If you filter by both, you will search for the enchantment with spirit, also enchantment with minion skills. But if you click one away, you'll only see the ones with enchantment for the spirit. Those are quite cheap now. In the past, they used to sell for 1 divine, but later stage, this can be a pretty hefty boost if you didn't know about this. So if I search for minion skills, this will be more expensive. It's about 150 Exile, but this is +3 to minion skills. Now, the question is, of course, which one do you go for? Do you go for higher spirit or do you go for higher minion skill ranks? This is when on the second part, we'll come over to the Excel. I'll teach you guys how to download the Excel or how to copy the Excel, how to use it, so you can compare if that is going to give you higher damage. If it is, that's great. If it's not, let's say if I was to get the bonus spirit, and the bonus spirit didn't lead to additional minion summoned because the minion costs actually 29 spirit, and that's not good as well. So we'll talk about this very soon. Now that we talk about the standard ways of getting minion skill ranks, let's have a look at the unique gears that also can help minions to get skill ranks. What I'm using right now is a fire flower that is corrupted. So you can see this one is corrupted to +6, which is a pretty big factor. It goes to +6 to all fire skills, and some minions are fire type as well, so including skeleton arsonists and also skeleton snipers. So those minions can greatly benefit from a unique item like this, while other minions cannot, so keep that in mind. So this really allows you to specify your particular build. And a popular minion people like to use are the Spectres. Unfortunately, the Spectres only have the persistent and also, and this is the mage actually, where are the Spectre here? The Spectres only have a minion tag, and this means it can only benefit for items with plus minion skill rank. It does not benefit for any elemental, any other types of skill ranks. So that's why the Spectres will be harder to get to level 40. There are also unique weapons we can do world. Together this will give us +2 to minion skills and also potential of socket in this one for another 30 or even 35 spirit if you get a 3-socket weapon corrupted. Now, finally, there are some unique items like the Prison of Belief that can roll into random skills, and I have managed to get very lucky with one of them in the early stage of the game. So this is a +3 to skeleton sniper skills. Now, you might be wondering, why am I listing those things down? It's because once you know this, then you look into your budget and then you see what is the best upgrade for you. But if you don't know about those things, how are you going to know how to scale your gears and how to get better gears, right? So just bear with me and use the timestamps accordingly. Gonna get some water. This is gonna be a long video. Now, Val corrupted minion skills can also give us roll into +1 to our minion skills. And make sure if you're doing this yourself, it is 5 socketed and also +20 quality. And keep in mind, this may be a 1 in 4 or 1 in 6 chance of hitting the right one. So I just bought mine for about, I think I bought mine for about 2 to 3 divine just to get it going. So what I mean by that is, if you look at my skeleton snipers, it is a level 20 gem, but it is also corrupted by +1 from corruption. It has 20% quality and it has 5 sockets. That's what I needed. Be careful, some people will sell -1 corruption, or some people will sell, the 20, not 20% quality. You need 20% quality and also +1 corruption for usually the ultimate late game build. Just to show you guys over here, I did try my luck on corrupting my own. Actually, I sold that gem. So I corrupted the minion skill gem and it actually went to -1 rank. So there's a bit of risk involved. That's why it costs a few divines in getting the right skill for the minion skills to +1. There's also support gems that give you minion skill ranks, different masteries we mentioned earlier. And also the biggest factor is the new gem that is the lineage gems. This one is incredibly powerful. If you don't know about this, check out the previous video. This gives us +1 to support the skill ranks. Let me go have a look here. +1 to minion skill ranks, +10% to quality, and also reduce your reservation by 10. And the 10% is a massive deduction. It gave me 4 more summons of the skeleton snipers, so it is everything we wanted. Quality gave us more damage, plus rank gave us even more damage, and this gem is not cheap. It was about 10 divine, then it went to 20 divine, now it's about to be 30 divine. This is definitely the much later stage of the gearing investment for your summoners build. Oh, let's keep going. I feel like I'm back in class, I'm not lecturer. So over here, the second category of things that you can gain from minions is going to be increasing spirit. You can see here my character have about 650 spirit. And the more spirit you have, the more summons you have. Now skeleton snipers, if I get the right boots, I was using the speedrun boots, this was a 35 movement speedrun. If I get the right boots on the snipers, if I put the right gems in, you can see my snipers are hitting for about 65,000 each of the snipers, and having 32 snipers means we hit close to 2 million DPS. So more spirit means more summons. Very simple, right? You can find the highest spirit usually from the body armor together with the right implicit. The Conjurer's Mental is the one I'm using, and you can see this has a +30 to spirit. I actually use Divine Orb to get this one a little higher. And this also comes with naturally with a tier 1 spirit up to 61. So you can get to 91 spirit, which is quite good. Especially, in the ultra late game if you want high spirit. In early game, this unique chest piece gives us 100 spirit, which is very broken from Act 1 to Act 4, even to mapping. I use this one wherever I can afford one, and it's incredible. Pretty much doubles all my summons. But in the late game, because it doesn't give us other stats like health, it is not that great. I mentioned earlier, we can corrupt helmets with bonus spirit, and we can have different gem socketings onto the helmet. Definitely need a lot of water for this video. So over here, the helmet is corrupted. When you buy a corrupted helmet, make sure it comes with a socket, because you can't modify the item once it's corrupted. This is socketed with the Talisman of Rakesh. This was originally selling for about 1 divine at the start of the league. It is around 5 divine. So is 5 divine worth the 6% increase of spirit reservation? Not really, if you ask me, especially when you don't have much currency. So very soon we talk about which one of those you should prioritize. But I want to list everything for you guys, right? So this is a 6 divine for 6%. Rarity found? Did I type the wrong one? So this is the Rakesh. I typed the rabbit talisman. So I need to fix this after. So here, there's another socketing onto the weapons. Unfortunately, we cannot socket those as P.E.K.K.A gems into the scepter. We can only socket them into weapons like the melee weapons. So I get 2 of those socketed for 30 more spirit. And there are a number of unique jewels. The Grand Spectrum have multiplications of increase of spirit per socket of those. People usually run at least 3 of those. So running 3 of those in your socketings, which is a little tedious. So you run 1, 2, 3, all 3 sockets. If you run the Grand Spectrum, together you'll be getting 6 spirit per jewel, and it is 18 bonus spirit. It gets better too, but you need a lot of investment into the jewel sockets. What I like to run is, instead of running the Grand Spectrum, which limits my options, I like to run Against the Darkness. This one, it comes with random modifiers that gives you bonus stats to the knots around the Jew. So it is placed here purposely because this not passive give us plus 12 to spirit for the big knots that is available. So notice the big knots are modified with a bonus to 12 spirit each time I get those. I'm not here for the spell damage. Definitely don't need projectile speed. So I'm not here for any of those except the spirit. You also come with a bonus sap stat, and I got the bonus chaos resist. So notice the small nodes give us chaos resist, which is very good. So just that Jew alone gives me 72 bonus spirit. And finally, the Undying Hate. We do have a video on this, and which one is it? I actually have a few. So this one actually tells you how to craft a similar one. I'll have a video on crafting the exact one I'm using right now. So the items I'm using is crafted by myself. I crafted this one one step at a time, all the way to 4 mod. I crafted this one by using Divine Orbs to go from about 9 spirit to 12 spirit. So yes, you can divine those and get 12 spirits. But just be aware of the cost. Excuse me. So in terms of the Undying Hate, there is a number of modifiers we should be aware of. And let me try to have a look at this. So I wrote a summary down. We can turn the big knots into the 8% spirit per 100 tribute. And here I managed to get this crafted onto the Jew, which is over here, you can see. And then finding the right knot gives me 8% increase in spirit. It is a pretty big multiplier when I have a lot of spirit. At the same time, you can also find, which I did not find on my Jew, the 1% spirit reservation reduction per 20 tribute. So if you have 100 tribute, it is 5%. If you have 200 tribute, it is 10%. And this keeps going the more you invest in this. Finally, you can also find a mod for minion revive rate or even attack speed. Let me show you a different Jew over here. So this Jew can come in over here, and this Jew will give me the spirit reservation I mentioned about. So different Jews will give you different ones, and we'll have a video on this one depending on the seed of the timeless Jews and also the base, or mostly the seed. The base will also help you with other things like the big knot, but the seed here gives me the spirit reservation, which is very interesting and very complicated. So those two are the big ones, the 8% spirit or the 1% reservation per 20 tribute. The attack speed is also decent. Now, we're almost there, guys. Just one more group to go. Spirit reservation reduction or spirit reservation cost reduction is massive in the game. Once you have high enough spirit, you want to reduce the cost of the minions using the spirit. So what I mean by that is, so here I have the snipers, which is costing 26 spirit. If I take those brutes off, the snipers are costing much higher, so I can't even have 32. I can have 27. So this brute allows me to have 5 more summons. Oh, so what's happening? There you go. Right. Definitely something's messy, right? Let me have a look. Oh, I got the wrong Jew. Need to get everything in line. Hello? Hey, Jew. Nip. Okay, so let's look at these brutes. So I'm sitting on 32. I take the brutes off. All the summons are disabled. So all those summons that used to be disabled. So this actually gives me a lot more summons than what we expect. More than this, because I have to turn off all the other summons. So I'm getting at least 3 more summons because of these brutes, but they also affect the reservation of all the other summons I'm running. If you want to know my build, we do have a video on this one. It is a very cool suicidal build that uses plus 40 minion skill ranks, and my minions are exploding and killing themselves for the glory of my skeleton snipers. So, and that video will be available in the links below. Now, coming back over here. In terms of the spirit reservation, it can be found on the passive tree, and I'll show you guys over here. Okay, over here. So, the passive tree have 12%. Most summon guide and builds always go for this knot. Other than that, you can find up to 30 or 36% corrupted boots on the boots, on these particular unique boots, and then 6% over here. Those are the major ways of finding spirit reservation, and together with this Jew we just talked about, of course, for the 1% per 20 tribute. And of course, don't forget this Lineage gem, which turns spirit reservation cost to 90%. Very, very powerful. So those are the ways of finding those. And now I have listed all the ways you can get strong. Now we come to the second part finally, right? So Which one should we pick? Should we pick Minion skills? Should we pick spirits? Or should we pick spirit reservation? That is the question. Now, it'd be pretty funny if I say stay tuned for the next video, right? But jokes aside, so the second part is, the rule of thumb for me is the Minion plus skill ranks always comes first, because it is naturally the best way to scale with damage, but I also want the survivability. So usually in the game, I will go with a scepter and also a shield, and once I have enough stats, I will then switch into more glass cannon with even higher Minion skill rank. But that is really depends on how your other gears min and max with your life and also resistance. So usually I go with Minion skill ranks, followed by higher spirit, and once I have enough spirit, I go with spirit reservation. It is only worth it after about 300 or 200 spirit to make it worth it. Now, the 6% spirit reservation helmet costs about 5 divine, while the +4 scepter with +40 spirit percent also costs about 6 divine. So if I were to pick, I'll always go with a weapon upgrade first. So let's have a look at a more scientific approach. This is when we come over to the Excel calculation. Again, guys, I'm not saying I know Path of Exile so well that I can do exact numbers. This is for your reference, and this will help you decide as a tool. It's not made by the developers. I made this myself with estimations. So don't quote on me if the estimation is a little bit off. It should be very close, I'm hoping. So you can also use Path of Builder too, which can be great. I'm still learning how to use it, so I actually made my own Excel in the past. We do have a video to teach you about how to use Excel, so if you want to have a look into the links below to teach you how to use Excel. Just to give you a too long didn't read version, if you have a lower initial spirit, let's say if your spirit is about 200, which is the example over here, 250 spirit, you're gaining more spirit. Having more spirit is actually way better than getting 1+ Minion rank, because that gives about 13 to 17% damage, but having 40 more spirit will actually give me about 18 to 25% more damage, because I get more summons. And once we have the higher current spirit, it is better or beneficial to have spirit reservation, of course. And Minion skill ranks is always preferable because it still scales somewhat linearly, and I'm here checking the stats coming from the level 29, level 30, level 31, and those are some of the stats I checked in the game. So this really depends on the breakpoint of the units you're summoning. Some of the specters in the game, like the popular cocaine ants, those ants cost a lot and other things cost a lot. So I'm using a cheap summon. This particular specter costs 29 spirit. So the breakpoint is much lower. So having one of those just costs me 21 spirit, while the bigger ones cost a lot. So you want to have a look, what is your breakpoint for your summon units? And here I've only done a few of the traditional ones. I haven't done the specters, because during the time of this Excel, there was no specters and there's way too many specters to do the calculation. Okay, so I know I keep following the next part. So how do you decide which is better? You want to see if you hit a particular breakpoint to get more snipers versus getting only 1 mages, and you can see the example over here. So basically, you want to see if having the higher spirit after all your spirit cost reduction will lead you to higher number of summon units. But if you have leftover spirits like this, like the 4 spirit over here, it is kind of wasted. So in that sense, having higher Minion skill rank is never wasted. And that's just really up to how you build and also your items, because some items like the spirits, they can roll between 30 and also 61, right? So 30 here, 57, 61. So they can roll in a range. Now, I'm sure you guys want that too long didn't read version. So here is exactly how I pick my gears. And this is the, I guess, how I play every season with the Minion build. At level 1 to level 15, I'm looking for any gear on the market for plus Minion skill ranks with bonus spears, and that's it. I'm trying to buy those at the start of the league with regular orbs and also alchemist orbs, because those tend to be less valuable in the later stage of the game. At the start, you can almost buy anything with 1 regular. It is incredible on the first day. Of course, I'm not buying the best gears, because I know I'll outscale them after level 15. I'm looking for +1 Minion on the scepter, helmet, and also amulet. So here's a scepter example. We're looking for the rattling scepter if you can. Any scepter will do. Because at the start, I don't really need the skeleton warriors that badly. Having bonus spirit on the scepter or the body armor is a bonus between 1 to 15. If I can purchase this particular unique item or find it, it will double my leveling speed. 100 spirit in the early game basically double the amount of summons you have. It is incredibly broken and good for most builds. Around level 15 to around 30 up to 72, I'm constantly looking for when is the next time I can get my +2 or +3 minion skill ranks on the weapon, the helm, and also the amulet. Together with finding more spirits on those bases, this is what I'm looking for. So there's actually a breakpoint or leveling requirement for you to have certain gears. Let me show you guys over here. So notice this gear requirement is 75. The lowest level, you can equip those gears at 46. So before that, you can't really have the +2 minion skill rank helmet. So no point of searching those, right? After 46, this is when you look for those. And this can be a hefty boost if this is enchanted with spirit. And you can look at the price over here. I'll also give you guys the links to have a look. Now, around level 65 to 60, or 45 to 60, I start to look for items like the enchanted helmet I mentioned, because it only comes after 65, right? I can't really use this helmet before, well, not 60. I can only use this helmet after level 46, right? So this is why I start to search for it, like, when I can use them. I'm also looking for a cheap version of the Winter's Gambler. This one can give us bonus spirit. That's what I wanted. Notice I'm using 2 of those. Bonus spirit, 19 to 20. 19 to 20 is pretty hefty. I don't even mind some negative resistance or even negative rarity. I just want life and also bonus spirit around this time because I just want to map, I just want to get to the end game. So this is a hidden trick that helps me to level faster. And as we keep going, after level 80, level 90, you get into mapping. This is when you want to upgrade your gears. If you had a look at inside of my guide videos, or most of those guide videos, in the early game videos, I always have trade links for you guys to look for the gears I'm using. And they're filtered accordingly. So this +3 weapon with spirit, only 2 exalt. So use the links in the video and this will help you a lot. So plus spirit, +2 minion skill ranks, 35 exalt. So if you come over to the trade links, especially the early game leveling links, those are cheaper items. The later game links, the new links, are the more expensive items. Makes sense, right? So this is actually the charm I was using. This is another charm. Let me find the one that's not a charm, because it's hard to label them. I just copy paste it for you guys. Okay, this is a random gem. That is a good gem. Oh, this is a weapon. See here. So in the later stage, I was filtering for higher spirits and also +4 over here, and hence you can see the higher price. So this gives you a cheap way or quick way of going into those videos using the links which help you to find the gears and even price check them. So what do I do after level 80? Is I look for anything that can upgrade my minions, which are the top things we just mentioned, the minion skills, spirits, and also reservation. Anything that starts with 1 to 10 exalt. Once I have done those, I check for the next round of upgrade for 15 to 30 exalt, and then for 1 divine items, and then for 2 to 3 divine items. This is called the bucket effect. If you have heard of this, or if you haven't, it's actually a very cool effect. Basically, you look for the cheapest upgrade first, and this will give you the biggest cost for value. Now, let's have a look. Wait, almost there, guys. Sometimes it's hard to tell what's give you what, right? So using this Excel, how do you want to use this Excel is first, there will be a link for the Google Share doc I'll be sharing with you guys. Once you come over to this link, you'll click Files, click Make a Copy, and once you click Make a Copy, then you can edit the Excel. You cannot edit Excel, and if you request to share, it's hard for me to share to thousands of people. So do this yourself, go to Files, make a copy, and then you can insert your current spirit level. Let's say if I have 400 current spirit, I'm looking for gears that give me 424. This is just an estimate. If I'm running snipers, this will be 5% bonus damage. Force mages, 7% bonus damage. The other two, the soul mages, 0, because it doesn't hit the breakpoint. And also, +1 to rank scaling is about 13% to 17% more damage. So this really gives me the gist of idea what I'm getting. If the new item is spirit, it's always try to reflect over here. If the new item gives me more minion skills, well, it's over here. And similarly, you can reverse engineer for the reservation. So let's say if you get a 15% reservation reduction. So 15 of 400 is 460. It's as if it give you like a 15 bonus spirit. So this becomes 460, right? Just a small example. And you basically put your current spirit and the new spirit of the items you're getting. Just for skill ranks, you can see over here. Now that you have the tools to help you, I'll give you guys a rule of thumb for those of you that want to make things simple. For me, it's always better to go with weapon upgrades, followed by amulet or body armor upgrade, because armor also help you survive, and followed by helmet and also rings. And then the boots if I can afford it once I have enough spirit to make the spirit reservation count. So if I were to get these boots very early in the game without enough maximum spirit, it's not that great. I mean, it's always great, but it's very costly. So if the boots is costing 4 divines, while the weapons are costing 2 divine, I'll go for the weapon, right? So here's a rule of thumb. And once I have enough capital for 5 or 10 divines, I'll look into unique jewelries that I will mention above, like the ones I'm using. So the easier one to find, the easiest to find is actually this one. It comes like about 1 to 5 divine. You just have to find a spirit, then you can try your luck to hit 12. Or you can find one that weighs 12% or 12. It's a little harder to craft this one. We'll have a video on this. It is extremely hard to search for this one to +3. This comes with a bit of luck, because people don't drop this very often. And that should summarize everything. Hopefully, this extended video, which tired me out for the 2 days of making this one, gives you better insight. Because I'm a big Minion enjoyer, I want to help you guys and also help new players in the future to learn about Minions in PoE 2. And hopefully Minion gets better. So if you have any guides or tips related to Minion build or anything related to PoE 2 or a cool build you want to share with me, make sure you contact me directly on Discord, and this is my Discord name. And if you can't message me, you can join my Discord and then direct message me. Let me know what you guys think in the comments below. All the tools, all the related videos, all the links will be available for you to use and also help you get better with the minions in Path of Exile 2. Now, hopefully you guys found today's video helpful. Again, a big thank you to everyone on YouTube, especially our supporters and also those of you guys who's been supporting me on Patreon as well. And we do have a new feature on the Majestic YouTube channel. If you click onto this, you can become a member. Yes, I've added this just recently, and this will allow you to have early access to videos that is posted a few hours or even half a day earlier if you want to watch those videos a little early. But yes, this will cost money. So please be aware the membership will cost money. And if you do want to watch videos normally, those videos will still be available after 6 to 12 hours, normally on the time we post those videos. And I'll be aiming to post at least one Path of Exile video a day. And this will be including guides, tips, news update, and also the latest tricks that is discovered on both the English and also Chinese community to keep you guys updated. And if you like those videos, make sure you leave a nice comment and also leave a like for those videos.